Buffering, and we are live. Hey, everybody. Hey,
Hello.
y'all.
Hey.
Come on in. Come on in. If y'all know us, you know that we take the first minute to share on our personal pages. So, Chinase, Paige, welcome. If you want to take a quick moment and share, I'm going to just confirm that everything is showing properly on my page. I see we got people coming in, and we got 3 or 4 people coming in. Hey, y'all. What's up, y'all? Come on in. I see y'all. So, for those of you who all are new to the show, this is Candid Convos, and we are using a different platform than the general Facebook Live. So, while Facebook Live lets us see who's joining us and who's saying what's up, we won't know you're here until you tell us you're here. So, I ask that as you're joining us, come in, say what's up. Hey, Latrice, she's one of our new tribe members. She's been watching faithfully. Good to see you, sis. Y'all come in, tell us what's up. Make sure we know you're here. I'm going to always do like I do and ask y'all to like and share. I'm going to also share this in our closed Facebook group as well, just to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. And let's get started. I think I just shared it, so we're good to go.
Awesome.
It's Candid Combos. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Brittany. It's been a long time. Good to see you all. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank y'all for joining us. And I loathe when I get on Facebook Lives and people take 20 minutes to start because they want to get 100 folk watching. We don't have that kind of time. So we've got a couple people out there saying what's up. And so because of that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So first things first, you all are here with Candid Convos, emphasis on can, because I'm Candace Alynn. And this is just a weekly opportunity for us to kind of chat. I am the managing partner of Hill Duvernay and Associates, which is a trial firm here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also the president of Duvernay Enterprises, which is the host or the parent company of Catapult U. Catapult U is a consulting firm that is geared towards the focus of promoting work-life balance in women. And so what we are all about is building a tribe of women who have a safe space to learn, grow, equip themselves with tools to help them go to the next level in their personal, professional, emotional, and mental lives. And so we're all about balance. We're all about giving our ladies the tools for that balance. And one tool we utilize is Candid Convos, which is the weekly show where sometimes it's me, sometimes it's 2 folk, 3 folk, whatever. My friends and our tribe come in, we just chat. And this week we are talking about the power of a plan. And so this kind of idea came to me a couple of weeks ago, to be honest. I'm in a planning group and I was thinking about how we need to share the importance of utilizing a planner. And then my lovely sister Chinase, she has an awesome blog that she recently rolled out. And she was talking about the importance of having a routine in your life. And it was so funny because that blog came on a day where it literally was Wednesday. And in my mind, it felt like Monday because everything's been running together. I have been traveling. I've been working hard. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, no matter what some folk will say. That's for another day, another topic. So we're still trying to juggle all these things. And I looked up and it felt like a Monday, but it was actually a Wednesday. And one of the things Chinase wrote about extensively, and she's going to share with us today, was about the importance of establishing a routine to get some of that normalcy back into your life. And so by seeing that reminder, it was an aha moment that we need to talk about that with the group. Of course, hey Melanie, hey Jen Ty, hey Britt, my sister Brittany's watching too. So of course, when we talk about the establishing a routine, we also talk about a schedule, which automatically feeds into a plan and using a planner, which is why Paige is here because she is a planner extraordinaire. And so she's going to share some of her tips. So I've given you all an overview of the show. Before we get into the content, I want to have my guests introduce themselves. We'll start with you, Chinase.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chinase Elue. I'm a professor, author, speaker, and life coach. And I own a life coaching and consulting firm that supports professional women navigate difficult experiences in the workplace. So I'm excited to be here for the conversation.
Awesome. Paige.
Hello, my name is Paige Jackson. I professionally am a director of school accountability for New Orleans Public Schools. But I also have a couple of businesses, one Spandex and Sports Bras, which is my fitness business. I help women lose weight and feel confident in their bodies, but I also have a holistic women's development business around helping women live joyful, confident lives. So those are my 2 things. And in terms of planning, I got my first planner when I was 8, and I've been planning ever since. So.
Lifelong planner.
Yes.
So what I love about this group is we're all about collaboration over competition. And so our platforms all are kind of geared towards similar people, similar audiences. And I thought it was great to bring us together to talk about a topic that really affects each of us. So let's jump on in it. The first thing, and I'll ask you this, Chinase, you wrote about it a little bit on your blog earlier this week. For those of us who are watching, it sometimes feels like with the pandemic and kind of things shutting down. Kristen said, hey, fellow teacher, and she's a planner chick as well. Hey, Katie, she's planner at 8. She's laughing about the fact that you had a planner at 8. So one thing that I was just kind of wondering is, we have the schools are closed down or virtually. A lot of businesses are shut down. We're doing a lot of stuff from home. For some people, that feels like a lot of freedom to kind of throw the planner and the routine out of the window. Can you explain to the viewers and me who had a little trouble with it, why that's kind of the wrong way to go about it, and why now more than ever we need to make sure we have a routine?
Absolutely. When we went into the spiral with COVID-19, I think a lot of us were elated at the fact that we would have more autonomy and the ability to work from home, right? But I think we were rudely awakened when we realized that this is not business as normal, and where we would have more time to do our work, we also found that we were also engaging in caretaking responsibilities, right? Whether that was you taking care of your children or taking care of loved ones as well, or even yourself, because we know that this pandemic is disproportionately impacting African Americans and Hispanic communities as well. So when it comes to establishing a routine, I think it's very important for us to realize that in order for us to maintain some form of normalcy in the midst of some very uncertain situations right now, we have to be willing to control what we can. And what we can control is our schedule and our routine. And so I know that if you start well in the morning, you can finish well. Same thing in the evening. If you start well in the evening, you can sleep well and wake up and repeat the cycle over again.
Right. Absolutely. And what I've learned in my journey to kind of, y'all know I have a whole bunch of businesses. I'm not Jamaican, but that old stereotype. I mean, I'm a mediator, I'm an attorney, I'm a judge, I'm a consultant. And that's just my stuff I get paid to do. I'm also a mama, a sister, a friend, praise team member, a Delta. All of these different things are the different hats that I'm wearing. And so for me, especially, it's been very important to establish a routine, if for nothing else, for my personal self-care. And what I'm realizing is that without having that morning routine, that evening routine, it really just throws me for a loop. My sister Kristen says she's a planner chick. She actually got me on the planner train. I'll be honest, Paige. I was not a hard book planner. I was a person that if you had my phone, don't forget Usher Board. Kristen said, yes, I'm also on the Usher Board. So I love our show. It's so fun. I am on the Usher Board. But I was the person that had my phone. Back in the day, I had my BlackBerry. I had, my calendar, and I was plugging away with my task list, plugging away. And Kristen was the one that reminded me that I was one of my most efficient places when I use a general written, schedule. And it wasn't even a real planner. I mean, we had planners in high school that they gave us, I guess the county gifted it to us or whatever. But she really emphasized the importance of really writing down what I was doing each day. And what she did was highlight for me that reminded me of how much time I have in the day. So Paige, I know you are the preacher of the planners. So why don't you share with some of the ladies why you may want to consider taking that routine that Chinase talked about and memorializing it in writing in a hardback or even a paperback planner?
Yeah. So for me, I have always been a hard copy planner person. I could never get into the technology thing. There's something about writing it down. So like, I think it probably really was cemented for me at UGA. So like writing notes, like handwriting notes, I would remember more. So that's kind of my logic for my planner. So when I write it down, even if I, for some reason, forget to look at it, I've already had to interact with it multiple times to write it in my planner. So it's in my brain. But also similar to what you said, it helps you to see kind of where you are. So for context, I actually have 2 notebooks. I have a planner and a to-do list notebook. Some people do them together. I do them separate. But writing, like I write out my to-do list and then I take those items and actually put them into my planner by day. That allows me to move stuff. If I didn't finish a task on one day, I can like physically see that this task needs to be moved to this day. So I think when people think about planners, and especially like being at home during COVID, we're like, well, I'm not going anywhere. Like I don't have anything to do. So what am I writing in my planner? But I use my planner more for the things that I need to accomplish and less for like events. So like if there are events or meetings, like they go in there, but it's more like, this is my to-do list. This is my personal to-do list, my work to-do list, my side hustle to-do list, my gym to-do list. Like everything is there so you can see what all you need to accomplish. So for me, that's why I think people should use it. It puts it all in one place. Using just your like work Outlook, like your work calendar maybe, or your phone calendar, you don't actually put those tasks in. So you might look at Monday and say, I don't have any meetings today, it's fine. But in reality, you have a due date the next day and you have other things you need to prepare for. Your kid got soccer, right. You got to get your hair done, like all these different things. And if you put it all in one place, you can see it.
And that's been very helpful for me because the reality is I tend to overthink how much I can get done. We talked previously in different shows about letting go of that superwoman complex, taking the cape off, but it's very hard. And so I think we often oversell our ability to get stuff done in a day. And it's a lot easier when you have a digital calendar. I used Trello at one point and Evernote, and you literally, those tasks lists are limitless. You can literally write 100 things to do. And I'm the kind of girl that will write 100 things to do. And then what happens is mentally, we talk about mindset extensively, you start to feel unaccomplished when you don't get those things done. Yeah. What I found with these hard planners is you literally have a certain amount on the page that you can get done. And I think that's purposeful. So it allows us to really be more realistic about what we're doing with our day. And it makes us more mindful of how we're spending our day. So I love the topic, or that's, look, I'm reading Sonya's comment. I love the idea of using a hardback planner. Hey Sonya, Valerie, Tamisha Mo, they're saying what's up. So
Candace, one more thing before you go on. You mentioned so basically I'm looking, my planner is right here, y'all. And I was looking at it thinking the other thing that having it hard copy does is, to Candace's point about a lot of us are try to be superheroes and we put too much on our plate. At the end of the week, I go back and I look kind of at like how I'm using my time and how productive I was. And if I'm seeing that I'm drawing too many arrows and moving stuff to the next day, then that makes me more reflective about what I prioritize moving forward. So like next week, I know like how to better prioritize my time so that I'm not continuously moving items to the next day. So it also helps in terms of like being reflective, because you can actually see like, oh, I put that on my to-do list on Monday and it didn't actually get done until Friday.
Right. Yeah. And I love that too, because like I said, I have done it all. I have had these apps and you just move it to the next day. And honestly, I'll be truthful, in my written planner, it makes it harder for me to procrastinate just because I don't like to have a lot of scratching lines, a lot of arrows. If it's on my digital planner, I literally go in, due date August 25th. And I'm for a month. Yes. So I really love the reflective aspect. And a lot of the planners now are getting into that. Kristen asks, what are some good tips? And we actually are going to go over some different planners that you can use, Chris. So keep that in mind. Both of you, I wanted to ask, so what are some ways we can actually incorporate routine into our lives? So we talked about, you sold us on the importance of having a routine, right? Yeah. You sold us on the real quick, because some of you all are giving us comments, and keep on. That's what we do. It's a conversation. So share. If for some reason I'm not acknowledging your comments, it may be because I'm not seeing them. We're using a different platform, and for some reason, some of our comments and some of our viewers get lost in the sauce. So if you don't see me respond to your comment, I'm not ignoring you. If you have a question for our panel, you can shoot me a message on the comments, or you can shoot me a private message on the Catapult You page. And that way we'll make sure we get it either way. So I just want to make sure you all were aware of that. So back to the topic at hand. Ladies, and you all can answer, whoever wants to go first. How do we now incorporate a routine into our everyday life? We now know that it's important to have a routine to kind of get some normalcy back into our lives. Chinase, I guess I can start with you, and Paige, you can piggyback and answer. What are some ways you think you can advise us to kind of incorporate a routine into our everyday lives, especially in light of COVID, when we're literally are most of us at home all day?
So I would encourage us first to start small in terms of building a routine. Oftentimes we have these really lofty ideas and goals of what we want our routine to look like. We're like, okay, I want to wake up in the morning, I want to pray, I want to work out, I want to journal, I want to do some affirmations, and then I'll start my day, right? But oftentimes in the mornings, our days are not very linear, right? Something random may happen. Maybe the kids wake up a little bit early and you don't have that spare time. Or maybe you get called into an important meeting for work, and that time you thought you would have allocated for your morning routine is snatched up in an instant. So I would suggest starting small, especially in terms of pacing yourself in terms of what a routine can look like. So maybe it's one week you start off saying, you know what, I really want to wake up in the morning and just pray and write in my journal. And like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing it consistently. You get through week one and you're still you're keeping up with the routine. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm doing well. Let me add in affirmations after I finish journaling. And then you keep going and you're realizing that it's building you up. Your days are starting great and ending well. And then you can add in the working out piece if that's something that you want to incorporate in your morning features, right? But I think we have to be intentional about not doing too much too soon, because you can definitely get knocked off and just lose momentum altogether. So you do want to build up gradually to your ultimate routine that you want to establish.
Right. Paige, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would. That was probably the first thing I was going to say too, is start off small. We tend to get overwhelmed. And if like one part of the routine doesn't work, throw the whole routine away. I'm just going to, I got to roll over and start my computer. I would also say, once you kind of get into a routine that's working, for me, it's always important to figure out what are my non-negotiables in my routine. This comes with the disclaimer of I am single and I don't have kids, so my mornings are usually pretty much the same. Nobody is interrupting anything. But like, so right now for me, like working out before work is like a non-negotiable. And so if there is like, I have a meeting or I have something else, like I can still figure out how to get that one piece in. Now I might not listen to my like personal development book and all the other things that I do on a perfect day. I might not sit down and drink my tea, but I do have that. Like, this is my non-negotiable. Like, if I can do this, I can have a good day. The other thing is like, in terms of like grand routines, realizing you don't have to do everything on one day.
Right.
And like setting days, like this is the day that I do this thing. So like, even with planning, like there is a day of the week that I sit down and decorate my planner. There is another day, and we'll talk about that later. There is another day that I sit down with my like Outlook calendar and put in meetings and stuff. And then there's another day that I do the to-do list. So even like breaking your routine up into bite-sized pieces so that it can work for you and it never gets overwhelming, because a routine is supposed to help and not like hinder us.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing I got from one of my business coaches that has stuck with me when you talk about your non-negotiables. So there are certain things that we put on our calendar. We call them boulders. You know, boulder's a huge rock. It's immovable pretty much. And so some of the boulders that we have, you know, may be self-care. You know, for somebody else, it may be prayer time. For you, Paige, is working out. God bless you. Join Spandex and Sports Bra. She gives y'all a lot of tips on how to make that a reality. You know, for other people, I know Chinase shared with us when we were prepping for the show that she and her family have a time where they watch news every day, you know. So these are boulders that no matter what, they are in your calendar, and everything else is the water and the river that moves around the boulder, you know, and that allows us to prioritize our day, prioritize our week, and prioritize our month. So I love that. I love what Saya wrote. She makes her to-do list real easy, and I can tend to do that times, but and incorporating those small daily habits and starting to build to it. So I love that tip of adding things one day at a time. And I shared with the panel earlier. Hey, Jeff, he said, go dogs. Yes, UGA representing. we I was looking for a optimal morning routine for people with success, right? And so I YouTubed it, and then literally I wake up at 5 and I play my music, and then I go and I do my dry brushing, and then I go and I do my exfoliation, and then I go. And it's funny, Paige, because you said you don't have children, but even without the children and out that, you still have a lot of other stuff you've got to do throughout the day. And so that can feel very overwhelming. So I love the tip of finding maybe one or two habits we want to incorporate. Something that I've done that I want to share with the panel as well, and the guests that are watching, is I've broken up some of those non-negotiables and added them to my evening routine. There tends to be this push for getting everything done in the morning so you can start your day great. You know, Paige, you like to work out in the morning. My sister Kristen does as well. I actually don't. I prefer to work out in the evening. I like to get everything else done. Now, I will say sometimes that's required me to be working out at 10:30 at night, you know, and I don't know if that scientifically is good. Kristen, Paige, y'all may know whether or not that works. But for me, I like to get a lot of other stuff off of my plate, get some other stuff done, and I'll do a workout and then kind of take my shower and go to bed for the evening. So I share that as an option for us who are very busy. We can break out some of these non-negotiables and put them in different parts of our day to make sure that we're getting these things done and not feel underaccomplished. So, Chinase, you talked about the kind of adding things to your routine. And Paige, how do you decide which planner to use? So I think you sold many of us watching on the planner. And if you all are Googling planners now, because if you're like me, you hear a tip and you're like, let me jump on it. You probably are now overwhelmed again because you see Passion Planner and Plum Planner and Happy Planner and Black Women Who Plan and the Bullet Journal and all these different things. So give us some tips on how to navigate through this water of all these crazy planner options.
I think with choosing a planner, it really is individual. Like a planner may be great. Like I think yesterday, Chinase said she's using the Passion Planner now.
Yes.
And I actually just switched from the Passion Planner. So it's very individual. So I would say, number one, consider how you're going to use the planner. If you work in a field or something where you really do have a lot of appointments that you need to keep up with, something like the Passion Planner or something that gives you like an hour by hour breakdown is probably going to be more efficient for you. But if you work with something where you maybe have like to-do lists and tasks and some meetings, then you might want something that gives you space for both of those. My tip for people who are starting with a planner is to like buy one, go into a store and buy one that costs like $10, $12, maybe even $15, and try it. And then once you kind of feel like what you need, then like get the expensive planner. Like I just bought a planner that costs $50, and I would never recommend that to a new planner, because if you get it and you hate it, like now you're mad at planning forever.
Yes.
Target actually has a planner called Day Designer. They carry a line by Day Designer. And Day Designer, they do have some that you can customize on their website, but their in-store planners are cheaper and they're great. So those are some of my favorites to tell people to look at. And they have some that are like just like a date with an open box, and then they have some that have the times. But I do think that you should just kind of look around and see how you're going to use the planner. There are also, go on Instagram and YouTube, and you can like just Google like hashtag planners, hashtag Black girls who plan, hashtag planner lady, planner anything. And there's a whole bunch of people now, believe it or not, there are planner communities and people who take pictures of their planner and they show you how they use them. And you can see actually how the planner looks and how to use it. That's the other thing. Right now, there are people like there are planning companies who they just did some things that people not here for. So yeah, some planner companies got canceled. So I think you have to also like, check yourself and see like what, where you care about that. But in terms of if anybody has questions, I don't mind talking about planners ever. So if you shoot me a message on my pages, I can show you. I actually have my old planner. So I have a Happy Planner right here. I have a Plum paper planner right here, which is my new one. And I have a Passion Planner over there. So I can show you and tell you the pros and cons of each. Some are more like, interchangeable, and you can make them work for you and hole punches and add paper and stuff. So anyway, if you have questions, feel free, shoot me a message and I can walk you through planning selection.
And honestly, a lot of it, I love how you said there's no really one size fits all. I used to think that I needed a planner that had the hour by hour, like the old school, like every hour, because that's what worked for me when I was in law school. I would get up and I would plan my day. Literally, I'm going to the bathroom at this time. I'm not that literal, but like lunch was gonna be 15 minutes. This was gonna be that. This is gonna be that. And then I realized that as I got more things on my plate, and I was not just juggling, law school classes and the parties at UGA. I had a lot of other things to schedule and balance. I needed to have more flexibility. And so I found different planners to incorporate that. There are some planners that just are more goal-based, so they're less about the day-to-day and they're more about the long-term goal. Jeff says he found a Black-owned planner company. Jeffrey, if you can add that to the comments whenever you find it, that's cool. And Kristen also talked about a group called Black Women Who Plan and Create. It is a very dope group. I think all of us who are on the panel are a member of the group. And not only do they give you resources for Black-owned planning companies, but they also give you a lot of different tips. They'll share coupon codes. They'll show their little spreads for the designs. I'm not a big design person, but they do all of those things.
Candace, I wanted to chime in really quickly right there because I know that I think depending on the type of planner you use, it may be seasonal, right? So before COVID, I think we were all very intentional about using our planners and writing down our notes and sitting down to be intentional in that regard. Now, what I find that works best for me in this kind of current situation we're in is having a big planner that I leave on my desk, and then I write down my notes of what I need to get done through the week. I've been very intentional about doing a Sunday planning routine. And so typically when we think about our schedules, we know we have a lot of meetings planned. We know we have personal and professional things that we need to get done. But oftentimes we have to really be intentional about sitting down to map out those pieces of our lives, right? So I know personally, like in business and in entrepreneurial and family life, I have to be very intentional about carving out time for things that will matter. So there may be some times where I need to really sit down and dig deeper into some work. And so I map out time for when I need huge chunks of time because I have kids at home right now and they don't understand that work has to go on in the midst of a global pandemic, right? So I think being able to map out when you need to do that slow, deep mental thinking, right, in your planning, and then you plop those times in throughout the days of the week can also help you kind of navigate, okay, on certain days, I'm going to see if I can switch with my husband's schedule and do this kind of work here and vice versa so I can interchange and make sure I have the types of support. So I think it's one thing in the plan, but then I think a lot of our planning also incorporates a lot of other moving pieces to help us kind of navigate the different spaces we're in right now, personally and professionally.
Right. And I love that you said that because my next question was going to be for both of you all. And how do you make sure that you create a habit of using your planner? Because if I got up right now, I'm looking at one right there and I have one right there. I have two planners that I have not touched in a couple of weeks. So y'all are kind of, it's like, you go to church for the revival, like revive me again, Lord. Y'all are reviving me and my renewed commitment to the planner. But what do you all do to make sure that you make time to plan? Like I said, Chinase, you mentioned setting aside time on, I think you said Sundays. That's something that Kristen and I used to do. We would get up before church, we would go and we would plan together. Aside from that, are there any other things, Paige, that you would suggest that we do to make sure that we commit to using the planners that we spend 10, 15, or good Lord, $50?
When you've been planning for 25 years, you have but no, I would say I too have like a Sunday and I sit down and I do that. The other thing is actually to be intentional about, especially working from home, my planner just stays beside my computer in the evening. So that when I get up to get on the computer, like my planner is there. I actually also usually leave it open so that I don't have to go through because sometimes you can see it and just not even open it. So I leave it open. A couple of things that I would recommend that do work for using it throughout the day. The first thing I do when I sit down is I just kind of look at it, to see like what meetings I have and what's on my to-do list for that particular day. Another thing that I don't do as frequently, but when I do it, I'm super productive, is the night, like at the end of the day. So at quitting time the day before, I go ahead and write tomorrow's to-do list.
Yeah.
So that when I do sit down at 8, I'm not wasting time to figure out what do I need to do today. But I'm, so I'm kind of getting my mind set on tomorrow morning when I start. This is what I'm working on. So those are two things, like to actually make a time to look at it throughout the day. And as things are coming up, either making a note of it somewhere or going ahead and putting it in your planner. So those are my tips, my easy tips. I got some other like complicated tips, but I'll spare you.
I clicked on that one during the planning the night before because oftentimes, there may be things, honestly, that we don't get done. I know that in this current season, I've been giving myself extreme grace because I may have this long list of things I need to do, but if it doesn't happen, it's okay. I know that I've already built in some cushion time to be able to get it done during the week. In addition to writing down, though, I also put it in my phone. I still need alarms to go off. I need something to just say, "Chi, it's time. Like, go do this activity or jump on this call." Because if I'm just solely relying on the paper version of it, I will probably miss it during the day. Sometimes I'm not even in my office space at times. I typically may navigate to different places in the house because of noise or just trying to make sure, I'm able to get things done. So it just depends on what the days look like for me personally.
That's cool. And so what I really love about the end of the day is that it gives, like you said, that grace. Okay, we didn't get it done today. Did I bite off too much today, or was I procrastinating on Facebook watching my homegirl go in on Governor Kemp? Like what was and so if we're really and here at Catapult U, we're all about, thank you, Jeffrey. He shared the another Black-owned planning company. So when we are kind of making that reflection time that Paige was talking about at the end of the week, if you do it daily, it kind of helps you kind of stop that negative cycle of either putting too much into your plate or not doing enough during the day. You can kind of see a snapshot and kind of go forward and fix it. So I love that. I also like the idea of planning with a friend. Like with anything, accountability has helped me. Now, it's so funny because my sister, Kristen, and Brittany's watching too. But Kristen, we would get up every Sunday. This is before COVID. We would get up, we would go to Starbucks, we would bring our planners, our pens. I'm not a big decorator, Paige. You were going to talk about decorating, so I do want you to share that. But I do like to do different colors because I feel like if everything's in this boring blue, it'll throw me off and I don't want to look at it. And so we would do that every week. And some Sundays, if I didn't feel like doing it, but I knew she was waiting on me, I would get up and go. I like the idea of utilizing an alarm as well, because what happens is I put everything in my paper planner and digital. Can you all see me? It looks like it's frozen. Can y'all see me?
We can see you. You just froze a little bit. But
okay, good. So I like the idea of not having everything be too duplicate. So I use my digital planner just for the big highlights. Like I have court. You need to get on the court call, But I like the hard copy planner for the minutia of my day and my week. Kristen said stickers would help those who don't like to decorate. So Paige, go ahead and share with us about decorating. We didn't talk about this in our plan for the agenda, but there are serious people that get into the planning by using it as a more therapeutic option, or a therapeutic piece to the planning.
I will also give the disclaimer here, y'all. I am not artistic. I can't draw. But I like fun colors. And so if you're like, I'm not going to decorate because you don't consider yourself creative or artistic, there's still a lane for you. So like they do sell stickers, and there are Black-owned sticker companies. You can go to Michael's, Walmart, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. Like literally they have stickers everywhere now because planning just blew up. They also have like the washi tape that I'm sure you've seen, like the little paper tape. But anyway, I actually just use my stickers and tape to make my planner look pretty because I'm more likely to look at it if it's pretty. So it's actually quite simple. Some people use a lot of, I tend to use some motivational quotes and stuff. Some people use the stickers to like make their planning functional. Like they have arrows and stickers for meetings and things. But the weeks that I'm the most productive, my paper is also probably really pretty. I was trying to find a week where I did a really good one. But my new planner is super new. But this is like last year. this was just a regular month pre-COVID. So there are stickers, there's tape, there's highlighting. I do color code my planner. That was one of the other tips I was gonna give. I feel like Kristen says like she has colored pens and highlighters. So I color code, like green is always work stuff because money's green. That's my logic. Green has been work stuff forever. Green is always money. Red is like my relationship stuff. Pink is personal because pink is my favorite color. So like those kinds of things. So then when I look at my planner, I can see. I also write a scripture to keep myself motivated. I have a habit tracker. But anyway, I think that like decorating and the stickers can help, especially if you're not wanting to plan. That's part of my weekend planning, kind of like Chinase was talking about on Sunday. I like decorate and make it pretty. And then I use it also during the week. You low-key feel bad about not using the planner after you've spent the time to like decorate it and make it pretty. Then it's like, man, this planning week is gonna get wasted. It's all pretty.
I agree with that. And I love the color coding. I also do color coding. Like I invested in these flare pens. I have a bunch of different ones and all these different things. And what it does is it allows me to honestly quickly see what my priorities. Remember we talked earlier about prioritizing and the boulders. So there are certain things I put in my planner that I use a specific. My favorite color is purple. If y'all can't tell, all of my logos have purple hair. But I make sure that I highlight my non-negotiables as well. And one thing I want to encourage us when we're thinking about planning, this is where the ladies, if you remember the core of Catapult You is the self-care and the optimal work-life balance. So the planner is not suiting you and promoting work-life balance. If it's promoting stress and overwhelm, if it's promoting feelings of low self-esteem because you feel like you're not doing enough, let's remove those thoughts. Let's start a new day and let's give ourselves some grace. I love how Chinase said that. For us as women, I know Jeffrey's watching. We got a brother supporting, but for us women, we tend to take on a whole lot and heap on a whole lot. And for those who are overachievers, like Dr. Batista mentioned earlier, when we don't check off the whole box, we start to make ourselves feel bad. So please know that this video is in no way trying to promote the ideal of being superwoman, and you could be a superwoman if you just write it all down and plan it. No, what the purpose of a planner is for us to remember that we can only do so much. We only have so much time in the day, and we give ourselves grace to make sure that we are planning for the things that are most important. For me, that's going to be spiritual growth, family time, it's going to be my health, and of course, promoting my family and getting them together. Of course, the green is going to be there because the good Lord is going to provide. But I want to make sure that we all remember, because I know that sometimes women like me would watch something like this before, and I would take it, and that wasn't the purpose, but I would take it and like go crazy. And I would buy all the washi, I would buy 3 planners, and then I would be sitting there feeling crazy because I hadn't done anything on my to-do list. So no, sis, this is a tool for you to give yourself grace and to really normalize the fact that we are very busy. And there are ways, like Kristen and I always say, it's the African proverb, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Yep, one bite at a time. And so the planner allows us to kind of map out those bites. So did y'all want to share anything else? Anybody else have anything they want to share?
I just wanted to just ring the alarm. Candace, I think you just summarized it beautifully, right? That we are in a hyper-productive society, right? And if anything, that this current situation has reminded us is the need to slow down. So when we are talking about the importance of establishing a routine, it's more so to help us normalize our days in the midst of some very crazy circumstances right now, right? So that planning piece is big, right? And just like you said, you know, it's important for us to continue to extend to ourselves grace and give ourselves space to do what we need to do during the day, whether we're able to get everything down or if we need to find another modality for how we want to plan. I know for me right now, like I said, I was doing the paper planner and I don't even have time to write anymore. I just quickly jot it in my notebook or on my phone or my notes app in my phone, and I keep it moving, or I'll keep a running color-coded tab on my Google Calendar to really prioritize things as well. So I think sometimes we just have to be very flexible and be willing to adopt and adapt as we move through different seasons. And I think this season is going to require us to be very, very flexible and very gracious to ourselves. Like we have to be very intentional about extending ourselves a large measure of grace, for sure.
Look, they love that grace and space. Put that on a t-shirt, Chancellor. They love that. Kristen had a question for you, Paige. Do you use
Mhm.
different planner for work? She's a teacher, so she tried a teacher planner, and it wasn't as productive. She tried to have a teacher planner and a personal one, but it wasn't as productive. So do you put everything in that one planner that you just showed us, or are you kind of using different planners for the different aspects of your life?
So I am no longer in the classroom. So when I was in the classroom, what worked for me at the end, I actually wasn't using a planner that I purchased, and it ended up being the most productive. This folder has writing all over, but I'm gonna try to show her what I did. So
Okay.
I had a vanilla folder, and if you go on like the Passion Planner website, you can print off like a Passion Planner week. And so I would take the Passion Planner weeks and like staple it here. And what that would allow me to do is like fill out like what I had going on what meetings and stuff I had. And then like if there were copies that I needed to make, these pages were stapled and I could put papers that I needed to copy or papers that I needed for meetings like in the folder. And so each week I just had like this is my folder with my planning and teacher stuff in it. Sometimes if I needed to write specifics around like lessons or notes or parents to call, then I could flip that page up and like actually write it in the folder. Like these are the parents I need to call or the things I need to do. So that's my teacher planning tip. I did want to add just my last thing, kind of back to the point about grace and space. There are other things that you can use a planner for. Like it doesn't always have to be like a to-do list or like things to accomplish. Some people right now are using planners for a gratitude journaling or just journaling what's going on in their day. My mother is not a planner, but I have converted her and she has one now that she does antiquing. So she like buys antiques and resells them. And she actually uses her planner to track when she bought something and how much she paid for it. And then like when she sold it so that she can keep track of her business in that sense. So just also kind of to Candace's point, like, I don't want you to think like you have to use the planner in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just helpful to figure out like, is a planner a tool that can work for you? But if it's not, and if it's going to cause you stress, then like, don't do it.
Right.
Like, it's not that serious. Like, don't do it.
Right.
But there are other things, like some people do their Bible study, like in a planner, and they on this day, like these are the things. And if they're also journaling, like then at the end of the year, it's kind of like a cool diary and you can see like where you were in your growth at different parts of the year.
Right. And one thing that I see Kristen said about bullet journaling is a good kind of way to do planning, journaling, and goal setting. For me, what journaling has done is planning has allowed me to journal because I talked before about journaling and how I feel bad. Once again, that was that mindset of I haven't journaled a thesis today. What's the purpose? But in my planner, I could just write down like my Christian planner. It has how did you feel today? And you could just write down, I had a great day, God be glorified, or whatever. And it doesn't have to be this huge task, but it still allows for that reflection that you talked about with us earlier. And so this has been great. This has been awesome. I want to thank you all for joining us and being on the platform. For those of you who want to follow them, you can follow Paige at Fearlessly Happy. So that's fearlessly.happy, and she's on IG. She's also Spandex and Sports Bras. I think she just relaunched that page on Facebook. So please follow her. And then you can follow Chinase. She's on Facebook at Dr. Chinase Elue. Did I say Elue?
Yep, you got it.
And then she's also Dr. Chinase Elue on IG. For those of you who may not already be following me, I'm Candace Alynn. It's right there. No space. Follow me. But also, I want you all to really consider joining our private Facebook group. Catapult U is an awesome resource. I share, if you go to the group, you'll see the video of what God gave me with this vision 5 years ago, how I kind of got away from it due to some health challenges, but how we relaunched this year in the middle of a pandemic. And it's been doing amazing things for women. So please share the group. Last week, we had a couple of guys try to join the group. It is a group for women. So share with your aunties, your boo things, your friends. You can always follow the page to see what's going on. But the group is a closed group because it's a safe space for us ladies. Last week, we rolled out the book club. We are reading Think, Learn, Succeed, Understanding and Using Your Mind to Thrive at School, the Workplace, and Life. That has been a game changer. I'm only on I'm only 30% through, but it's been a great reminder of like the grace and space that Chinase talked about, and not just the planning aspect, but every aspect of your life and how you can utilize your mind to kind of reset. So please join the book club. And one other thing I want to invite you all to do is to register for our networking brunch. Last week we talked about whether or not we were going to still do it. We did a poll in the group. The ladies still want to do it, and what we've done is we've added a virtual option. So, oh, Kristen said she's going to definitely be following you all. So in the comments, I just shared, it should be sharing right now, a link. If it doesn't work, y'all let me know. There's a link for the registration for the brunch. So we have a networking brunch where we're going to take the tribe offline and come together in a socially distant place and just kind of share and love on each other. We were going to be expecting 50. We have now downed the number, reduced down, lower. We have reduced the number of women who are coming. So I think we said we're going to do 35 because that's how much space we can do and make it socially distant. If you don't feel comfortable coming, there is no judgment. You can always join the virtual ticket. So y'all, thank y'all for joining us. To my panel, I appreciate y'all. And we will see you all soon. Catapult you, y'all. Catapult you.